I'll put it on the group and ask them to check.
Yeah, now they can check. We are live.
Hi, yeah, it's come on YouTube. Okay, let's start. Ready? Okay. Um, Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of our YouTube live series. We've been trying to cover some very basic topics for the first few episodes. The first one was about how Cogito 137 functions and what it is. The next one was kind of what is science communication, how is it different from science journalism. We touched upon briefly about what are the kinds of articles which science communicators and science journalists publish. Um, Today, we have a slightly different episode, but I think this might be very helpful for many of you out there. We are going to talk about how you can initiate a small science communication platform in your own institution. And right now, we know that there are multiple platforms coming up, and I wouldn't say that there's ever going to be too many science communication platforms because the more number of platforms, the more the dissemination. And it's although most things have gone online now, it's still very difficult to reach out to a wide range of audience, and especially difficult if it's being done by students themselves. But then again, students of science themselves are the best people or the best candidates to kind of do this. um, so just to kind of give you a brief, and of course we'll be sharing experiences of how we initiated Cogito and we have been running Cogito. So to just give you a little brief, um, firstly, I would say that for us, what we did was we approached a faculty mentor, and it turned out wonderfully for us because Professor Shubhajit Bandyopadhyay, who was our faculty mentor for initiating this and is still our faculty mentor in charge also. He didn't need a sales pitch to get this approved. He knew that this had to be done immediately, and all we had to do is go ask him for a little help, and immediately he got us the permissions from the administration. So what you basically need is you will have to communicate with your own institute's community, and you will have to communicate with you'll have to spread your content outside. So the first things that you will need is an email ID, which if it is an official institute ID, it helps. It gives you more visibility. And secondly, you'll need a website. After that, you will definitely need editors, then design, and then finally a publicity team. So for us, it was we started with a very small team where we had one web developer who was kind of double timing for website design and designing the issue as well, the PDF for the first issue as well. And we quickly sent out, after we got an email ID issued to us by the administration, we quickly sent out an email calling for editorial applications. Um, uh, Professor Bandyopadhyay was actually kind enough to go through the first round of applications and select a few editors to get this started. Later on, of course, uh, after the launch, immediately the 1 month after the launch of our first issue, the nationwide lockdown happened in March 2020, and after that, of course, our team has eventually spread out. We have had to recruit more people because then we started venturing into multiple formats, and it was not just one magazine. And Sanskruti will be touching upon all of that. But what I would say is all that you really need is a group of 5 or 6 people in your own institute who are enthusiastic enough and serious enough to get an endeavor or get a science communication magazine or a platform started. Um, Many institutes have science clubs, and it would actually be a good step forward if science clubs themselves could bring out a regular magazine. And by regular, I mean that, if you decide upon a frequency, you have to continue that frequency. So for us, the frequency of a regular magazine is once in every 2 months. While we publish independent articles, releases once in a while on our website, we try and maintain that. Um, I think that's it. And once you can have your own website and you have at least one or two students who are running the website, you have, say, two or maybe three editors who are looking at the content. Of course, you have to do the usual spell check, grammar check, plagiarism check, and everything. But our converting articles into quality content, or basically making it go through an editorial review. So say if there's if something has been said in 5 words, and if it can in 5 sentences, and it can be said in a very crisp one line, use that one line. It makes the article less lengthy. It keeps the attention of the reader. So these were a few things which we had to work on ourselves in the beginning. And once we started off, for now, what we do is, when people have been working in the team for, say, a year or 2 years now, when there's a new recruitment, they help them out. Sanskruti will also be touching on how we conduct new hirings and keep the team running. So, yeah, Sanskruti, over to you.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm unmuted, I think now. Yeah, okay. So, hi, I'm Sanskruti, and we heard from our editor in chief Arunita all about how she and a small team of people set up the scicomm platform and got the ball rolling. But what started as a small team has now grown to quite a bigger group of people, and that involves old members, alumni of the institute, and even freshers of various batches. So the way we have expanded is through an almost continuous sort of hiring of people for various roles. Since this is a student-run initiative, and since there is no remuneration involved, people who get on board do it seeking experience and out of their interest in science communication. So we almost never reject any applications made by the people. We find them a suitable job, so to say. So as soon as there is a gap in the work a department is getting and the number of people involved for a particular job, so if there's a gap, we advertise for vacancies, and we do it on like a rolling basis. We do it through our social media websites, and we send out mails regularly to ISA Kolkata members. For instance, we recently had new people joining the team, some of whom have joined Cogito without being assigned a particular position. So now after the onboarding meeting and after constant interactions, we have team meetings regularly. Every 2 weeks, we have one full team meeting. And so the new recruits can observe the work we do and see what aligns to their interests and take part in the workings of the platform. We use Slack as our virtual office because most of the team is scattered around India and even abroad. So this brings us to the general methods and format Cogito has been following with the workflow. As we have mentioned in the previous videos, we accept content perpetually. So once some content arrives, the managing editors will begin with assigning the articles to all the editors. So, on an average, for a bi-monthly issue, one editor might get assigned, say, one or two articles. They individually contact the authors, go back and forth with the editing process with them, and a subject editor might have to go through the work for a specifically technical piece. Once the articles are ready, next down the line, it goes to the design team, which prepares the layout of the article, the magazine, and they use given images or find suitable ones from freely available non-copyrighted images available on the web. And they design all articles or artwork curated for the particular issue. And this is then sent to the authors themselves to check if there are any inadvertent mistakes or any inconsistencies. Next, the PR and publishing team works to distribute the work through our website, ISA Kolkata email, and various other platforms. And publicity is done in various stages by using Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on to reach the audiences. And then we start to prepare for the next issue, and the cycle repeats. So, what I described right now was sort of the streamlined flow of work for our magazine format, which is our major focus usually. However, there are a bunch of other content we create and publish. So, if you go through our YouTube channel, you'll find a mixed bag of things. There are videos of something called Noble in Focus, which has seen two editions already. There are talks, these are talks on the Nobel Prize winning work from experts in the field, usually our professors. There are videos from professionals in science communication talking of their field of work. And Cogito also conducted a workshop last year called scicomm for Scientists, or SFS, which was funded by DST. And all the talks from that week long workshop are also posted for anyone who wants to delve into the field and uh, discover things by themselves. And I was actually one of the participants of this workshop as a master student, and it was for masters and PhD students. And I personally feel these are great talks, and people who couldn't attend the workshop can also take a look based on their interest. So from SFS, we received written articles, zines. Zines are like small handmade 8-page science magazines with artwork. And we also received other short videos explaining science concepts to the general audience. And all this we have published in our channel. Moving away from YouTube, we conduct interview series called Wiser, or Women in ISA, where students can send in a series of interview questions to women faculty in ISA, and we publish these. So there are some technical steps involved in this, like sending in the proposed questions to us for their relevance and suitability and so on. But anyone who's interested in conducting these interviews is free to write to us about the possibility. And in the near future, we plan on expanding the scope to interview people in other science national institutes as well, and not just ISAs. We have also published illustrations in our magazines, like Comic Shiz is one of them, which was one of our first editions, and that had COVID related content, like in the beginning of the pandemic. We collaborate with a number of other organizations, like people doing work in like other institutes, and people doing work in science related, scicomm related work. And Arunita will be covering that in a while. So, being a completely student run initiative, we are constantly trying to figure things out as we come across them. And we are always on the lookout for new opportunities and broadening our audience base. And we track engagements on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media channels. And we are always trying to find a better ways of doing publicity for our issues. Hence, suggestions are also always welcome. We have no concept of a junior or seniority amongst the people in our group, and there are younger people with more experience working on very important positions. It's a pretty chilled environment, and we always want people to voice their thoughts and suggestions, because we keep updating and trying different ways of working, and incorporating new changes as in when opportunities come up. So while maintaining our current structure, we are open to broadening our scope and open to collaborations with people. And I give it over to Arunita to talk about some of our previous collaborations and future opportunities as well. So, Arunita.
Yeah. So it's actually very helpful if you can, for any platform, if you can constantly keep collaborating with other platforms or other groups of people who are doing similar work, because it gives your work visibility, firstly, and secondly, every time you collaborate with a different organization or with a different group, you learn something. So well, that way we our first Sanskruti mentioned our Nobel and Focus series, which are talks on Nobel Prize winning sciences, and the first edition was actually done in collaboration with the Science Club of our institute itself. Our August 2021 issue was an art science collaborative issue where we collaborated with this another web-based student-run magazine, which is The Decadence. Um, it was a wonderful issue, and you people can take a look at it. It was a joint publication, so we published the articles on our website, and they published it on theirs as well. Um, we also, apart from SFS, which was a workshop which we organized ourselves, we were a, we were a part of the organizing team of NPDS, National Postdoc Symposium 2021, where we collaborated with NCBS and InSTEM Bangalore, which are two research institutions who have been collaborating with different other institutes for this specific postdoctoral conference. And last year, they chose to collaborate with ISA Kolkata, and half of their organizing team was composed of our members. That was quite a good experience for us because it was for the first time that our team members, most of whom were undergraduates at that time, they were conducting a national conference completely online. So, and well, I personally speaking, I have been in organizing teams of offline conferences and online conferences. It's much difficult, it's more difficult when it's online. Um, Matching calendars and everything, because what happens is for physical conferences everybody is at a venue, and for online conferences when you have to match their calendars with everybody sitting in different places, it's a more difficult situation. So anyway, other than that, what was really one of our landmarks, so to say, was a showcase event which we did in October 2021, which was a Royal Society of Biology showcase event, where, in fact, this is something which all science communication platforms should be on the lookout for. Royal Society has this thing going on for, I think, 2 or 3 years now, where for a whole week in October, they popularize all kinds of biology related events which are happening. They can be purely academic events as well. There were some, while because we were a science communication platform, we had a science communication event which was, of course, biology themed, with talks in different disciplines. Even we had a session for illustrations, which was actually a wonderful session. You might want to take a look at it on our YouTube. And again, we are, as Sanskruti was mentioning, that we have still been trying to broaden our scope, and we are still in the process of learning new things. We are open to all kinds of collaborations which go well with our vision and with the theme of the work we do. So feel free to write to us. We have another interesting collaboration coming up with the Nature Club of our institute, but in a month or so. But I think I'll keep it a surprise as of now. So yeah, Sanskriti, over to you. I think we could just wrap up. Mm-mm.
How does this always happen? So yeah, in the topic of broadening our scope through various means, like as I mentioned, our earliest issue, Comic Shares, we aim towards going towards sort of a science and society topics, along with continuing to publish general scicomm content as well, and we want to do more themed issues too, subject to availability of content. And we think this will increase the reach of the magazine and also vary our content while keeping it engaging. We also have done a book review, which was sort of a journalistic piece, and also received an invitation for a second book review from the same author. So mostly what I feel works for any student level group is engagement on both sides. So the work has to be engaging for the team and also interesting enough for the audience. So in Cogito, there is a fair turnover of people in various positions. People are not stuck to the same roles for a very long time, and there are also new jobs to do in the team, even if they are already a part of some working team department. And people take breaks from their roles too, depending on their academic or personal workload. And seniors leaving the institute vacant their positions, and so there's a constant turnover of members. So that brings us to the end of today's live talk and how to initiate a scicomm platform at your own institute. um, do write to us if you have any questions, send us your content, and get in touch with us if you want to be a part of the team in any capacity whatsoever. Yeah.
Just like, and anybody who's watching this and is from a different institute and does manage to initiate a SciComm platform, please write to us. We would love to collaborate and maybe bring out an issue together.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have no questions
No,
today,
not
na?
we don't have any questions today.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Then let's wrap up.
Yep.
Shall Bye bye.
Bye.